Okay. Assalamu alaikum. So a few things as we get started today is Teach with Text Introduction to Nearpod. We have a code at the top corner of my screen. It is DKERF. You're going to go to the website join.nearpod.com. It is in the chat, but this is the correct code. So this is going to bring you into today's session. So for the remainder of this webinar, or kind of session, we're going to be toggling in between this, and you can have the Zoom on the other side and be able to interact and see the cameras. So now really this isn't—
One question, please.
Sure.
Are we typing in the student, teachers, or administrators for the code?
Oh, put it in as a student.
As a student, okay, good. Thank you.
Yes, I'm the administrator on this one. Okay, so really this is a beginners kind of webinar, beginner session on Nearpod. Just kind of a little background information about myself. I'm a curriculum content consultant with Google. I work at Al-Falah Academy. I'm a middle school teacher out there. I have 2 master's degrees, but for Nearpod, I am a certified educator, and I'm awaiting, fingers crossed, for a certified trainer certificate through them. So that's about a 3 or 4 month process. If that goes through, then inshallah I can provide another training with you, and they provide free swag and all these fun things that they send out, along with free subscriptions to anyone who comes in on training sessions. So inshallah, if that comes through, we'll do another training and help you guys all out at your school. So this specific session that I've put together today, it will allow you to kind of get an idea of— I'm going to go back to that slide. Idea of how to use Nearpod, how to engage stakeholders, other staff, parents, community members. It's going to give you, some basic tools that you're going to need. And today's I've kind of put more of my audience to our administrators, principals, tech coaches, the team leaders. Normally I use teachers as kind of my main example. Today I did shift it a little bit towards more an admin, just because I feel like I've kind of let them out in the, left them out a little bit in the past. So this will kind of give them an idea as an admin how they can also use Nearpod. This is amazing for teachers. I use it constantly. So teachers, I know we have a lot of tools for ourselves, so you'll be able to see how this will work in your classrooms, but this gives it a little bit more functionality for the admins as well by making them a lot of my examples. There will be a recording, for this, so that will be on the website, and Shaza will, forward that with you. So you'll have that accountability when you're finished, along with, I think, a follow-up from her. Okay, so throughout the presentation, I wanted to show you that if you want to take notes through it, please go ahead, when you're in your Nearpod session, that's going to be on the tab. There's a little notebook that you can click on. So there's a couple different areas. Okay, you can toggle through the slides. I did make it interactive, but you can also actually keep, add the notes. I'm going to switch to student view for a moment. You're going to be watching me on teacher view, just so you can see both ends of the Nearpod and see how it works for an admin or teacher, whoever is actually initiating it, but you'll also be able to see the student view. So as a student view, this is what your screen should look like, and it will show you where to click on in order to get to the notes. You can email those notes to yourself at any point in time. You can open the notes, and it's really a great tool, to be able to, for even students to go back, and even for if you're leading a faculty meeting or staff meeting, for you to be able to share those resources with your team.
I want you to go to your daddy because I have a class right now and I'm busy, please.
You're mean.
Okay. So let's take a step back. What is Nearpod? Okay, so for those of you who are brand new and you're actually experiencing it right now, this is Nearpod. It is a platform that can send teachers and students into the lesson where they're getting real-time feedback. And these lessons, they can be shared in both a live synchronous lesson or even in a student individually paced asynchronous lesson. So you can make this lesson and students can click on it and work at their own pace, or they can work on it live together. So it can be delivered in a variety of learning scenarios. So whether you're doing a traditional classroom, hybrid, distance learning, it will work for you, inshallah. Okay, so what is it exactly? This tool, like I said, you know, it supports both synchronous and asynchronous. You're able to have live codes. You're able to you kind of build into a brand new option. It brings students sort of to the front of the class. Is kind of how I like to explain it. You know, every student is at the front. Every student is answering questions. It's not like you only choose one student at a time. They're all engaged throughout. So this makes your lesson plans and presentations as an admin a lot more dynamic. You're able to get that comprehensive data in real time, not waiting on, okay, let me check all these exit tickets and all the Google Forms I sent out or all my interactive notebook slides. Let me check it later. This will show you right away, you know, as though you're in the classroom and you say, okay, everybody put up a whiteboard or everybody do this. This will give you that real-time feedback that we as educators are really looking for. So this is my student screen, or the teacher screen. On a student screen, right now you should be seeing a poll. Okay, so at that poll, you know, it's gonna ask you as an administrator or coach, what do you like to see when you observe a classroom? So when it comes to your role and you're visiting classrooms, you know, what is something that you would really like? So this is an example of one of the interactive activities that are built into Nearpod. So take a quick minute and jump into this. We're only going to take about a minute, and it's going to kind of show me your responses. And I want you to be able to see how, you know, as an admin or as a teacher, what your screen is going to look like. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And you can see the responses coming in, you know. And as we are responding, I just want to point out, you know, because we might have some special ed coordinators, or we might have students with RTIs or 504s, things like that in our school. Nearpod has the ability to build in a lot of modifications, and it's built in right into the platform. So it's a really good way to accommodate any students with special needs and our ELL learners. So let's look what we have here. Okay, we have.
I'm just to interject. I'm just wondering, what are the folks who are signed in but not responding? Are you having trouble finding the screen or answering? Just want to kind of open up if you do have some questions about how to toggle back or what's going on. Take this opportunity, you know, to engage in this interactive workshop, inshallah, and get that feedback.
And I'm going to show that note, the code is still at the top of the screen. So at any point in time, if you get disconnected or close your screen by accident, that code is going to remain up there throughout the entire lesson. And that's good to point out, especially for students who are having internet issues or things like that, and they log on and try to come back on. You don't need to remind them where they are, but they just come back onto the Zoom or Google Meet, whatever platform you're using, that code will still be there. Yeah, so I do see that we have 13 in and 22. Maybe some people are driving or lying down or resting and just, you know, listening in. They're having chai time, but this will give you an idea of how the interactive features work. Okay, so we have 100% student participation is high up there, student engagement, classroom management. Okay, so those are a lot of our top ones, you know, and this will really give you that real-time feedback if as a teacher, you're gonna ask a whole group question or a whole group, you know, what did you think? And they have to answer it as an exit ticket or throughout your lesson. And this will tell you how they're thinking, how they're feeling about the topics. It will give you that big picture. One of the questions I put up there is, you know, and I didn't see, it's only got 4%. Does the teacher make changes in the lesson, you know, depending on how well the students are working and how well they're receptive to the lesson? And I think that's important as an admin or even as a teacher. If you have this formative assessment in the middle of your lesson built in where you can see right away, okay, all of the students got this question right, but no one got this one correct, or, you know, or vertically you can see, okay, a lot of people didn't get that one correct. You can have that information and spend more time on that lesson, spend more time on that information to deliver it and adjust your lesson plan accordingly with that real-time feedback. It'll allow you to be a lot more effective and use your time wisely. Okay, so in terms of uses, Nearpod already has over 8,500 ready-to-teach, standards-aligned lessons and videos that are fully searchable. Nearpod is a free platform. However, depending on the amount of features you want and trainings and webinars, you do need a paid membership. So most of these basic features that we're covering are all included in the free membership. There's a few interactive elements that you will only get with a paid membership, but for the bulk amount, you're able to do it without having to pay anything. Teachers are really quickly able to create those interactive lessons in minutes. If you already have a pre-made Google slide presentation or a worksheet, you're easily able to pull it into Nearpod and make it interactive. And it gives you that comprehensive data, just like we discussed, and it enables that 100% participation. So we're almost at 100%. We're missing about 5 people here. But in your classes, it would be, you know, every single person must be logged on because you must finish your Nearpod to get credit. So what can you expect to see in a Nearpod classroom? Now, in your classrooms, you know, when I say that, it's obviously it's more than just a traditional classroom. It's your virtual classroom, hybrid classroom, whole group, small group instruction, whatever it is. In these situations, you're going to get that student participation. You're going to get the active engagement that we've been talking about in all the previous Teach with Tech series, you know, and you're going to get this included now with that immediate feedback. Prior to our Nearpod training, we were talking about how we're getting engagement and how we're building out slides, how we're delivering lessons and delivering materials to students, but we haven't really talked much about that feedback. So this will allow you to get that feedback and data progress, you know, to be able to monitor how the students are working and how to move forward with it. Right now, you know, we have so many students and classrooms everywhere. We're all connecting with video conferencing. So you have that face-to-face, but this also gives the students the feeling that they're part of that community when they're doing polls and collaborative, different interactive tools together. They're able to see the screen, share each other's work. So let's look at the next one, and I'll show you kind of a little bit about the collaborative screen. Yeah, we'll continue. So like I said, today I'm going to focus a little bit and use administrators as my example. So, you know, just look at this. Beyond a teacher use as an administrator, how often have you guys heard this quote? Let's have another staff meeting. Okay, like no teacher ever, no one ever really wants that. And if you're, you know, and as a staff member or as an admin, if you're going through something like that, you want to be able to engage your staff for your weekly staff meetings or monthly meetings or trainings and updates. You want to make sure that, you know, especially right now, your staff members are fully engaged. And you know, we know that, you know, I'm going to stress like all the benefits for this, but, you know, there's onboardings, trainings, communications. We all get bombarded with meetings all day long. And, you know, a lot of us teachers, including myself, like I know I was working all summer long doing professional development, planning for hybrid options, curriculum adoptions, things like this. And on site, it's easy. But online, you really can't guarantee what those teachers are doing. You know, they might be cooking their dinner while they're listening to the conference call instead of watching onto the slides, or they might just be lying down in bed and with their phone on mute. You really don't know. But by adding Nearpod to your staff meetings, for example, or to your trainings, you're able to really see the teachers' feedback, and you're able to bring them in and make sure that they're held accountable for coming. So just as an example, you know, if this was a faculty meeting, you could have a slide like this where it says back to school, welcome. And I wrote Islamic School Elementary. And you might start out with an activating lesson, just like we would do in school. Okay, so you could send your students a resource through through the drawing. And this is a teacher screen. It says awaiting response. So for you guys, it says the lazy days of summer have now passed. Illustrate your lazy days. So imagine starting off with some sort of interactive, engaging activity at the beginning of every presentation, whether it's a class, you know, and you're a teacher, or whether you're an admin and you're just trying to engage your staff. So real quick, you know, let's take 2 minutes, share something for your lazy day. It could be you're finding a picture, you're able to draw it. You're also able to Google an image and upload an image as well. Maybe while you're doing it, you can try out some of the tools. There's a pencil, there's a highlighter. So just like, you know, our students want to be engaged, our faculty wants to be engaged. Me as a teacher, I want to be engaged. You know, I want to feel connected to the staff that I miss, the people I've been working with for the past 8 years. So you'll notice, actually, now let's hop back to this. You know, I see the sun, I see another sun, I see a really nice robot, excuse me, a balloon, a smiley face, okay? So I'm gonna give you about 30 more seconds, but you see how the banner actually changes. The yellow shows me that this person is in progress, green shows it's submitted, black shows me these people haven't even started. So if I'm in the middle of a call and I could be like, okay, Sister Shema, come on, what are you doing? Wake up, are you asleep here? And she would have to click on it, and that will engage that student. It gives you that progress and tells you whether even, you know, it's 100 students or however many, you know that you're getting that response right away. Another really cool part about it is, I'm gonna go ahead and click on this. You can also share that drawing right away. So I'm gonna hit share, and it should have popped up right on your screen. Can you correct me if it didn't? Let me know. Do you guys all see Sister Menez?
Yeah, we got it.
Mommy, can I draw some?
My daughter's really excited by this.
We're gonna draw something. Let's share her drawing with everyone.
There it is. Zainab, that's the drawing we did. Look at that.
And it pops up on everyone's screen. So now if it was an image or something the students are typing, you know, this is a really good way to highlight and share, you know, those star students, the students who have done an amazing job, and be able to showcase that learning. So I really like the drawing tool for that, because you can pop everyone's work, and as a teacher, I can still see who hasn't clicked on it. Okay, Sister Fatima, you know, and I can see who's done a great job. Ooh, so we've got someone, Sister Nuskia went to the beach, or she's hoping to go to the beach, one or the other. Okay, let me share another possible tool. Okay, so now imagine you're doing a basic introductory, you know, who the new staff is going to be. You want to introduce your new team members, or role changes, or shifts in responsibilities. And we all know, you know, with the way our Islamic schools are, there's changes. So there's an interactive activity on here called matching pairs. So when I click on the start button, you're going to have 1 minute. It's a quick, do it for fun kind of thing, okay? And I want you to imagine if you did a matching pairs activity in your classroom. I know I didn't teach you this information. I just pulled in a couple staff members from our ISLA team, just really quickly, just for you to kind of get an idea of how the matching pairs activity works. But, you know, this will allow you to kind of see on your end, it'll show you, I think it turns green and red. If it's correct, it gets green. If it's incorrect, it'll get red. So it's a fun way for it to stay interesting. The students can have more than one try. So it shows me that Sister May has tried 3 times. You can put it on a timer. I did not. And that will make sure they don't get derailed or distracted. You know, it'll keep it effective. On the teacher side, it will really, you know, it'll keep them engaged, and it'll let you know how it works. So hopefully a couple of you, I see a couple of you have gotten a chance to try it. I love the matching pairs. I think it's so much fun. So for me, it's more of a, okay, match the, you know, pronoun with the sentence that has a pronoun, or match the math facts together. You know, if it's a math like multiplication with the answer, or the name of the Sahaba with a trait that he's remembered for, and on and on and on. The opportunities are endless, but I wanted to really make sure I pulled in our admins as stakeholders as well, and you see how you could use it for admin meetings as well. Okay, another example, a way that you can use it is, you know, when we talk about back to school, I'm not gonna, so my screen actually, this is a collaborative board, and it's asking, would I like to approve student comments before they post? I'm gonna allow everyone to collaborate together, but as a teacher, I can have the, you know, I can take a look at it real quick before it's approved on the board to make sure that the comments are appropriate. I'm gonna just hit no for today's purposes, and you can see, take a quick practice and see how the collaborative board works. Now we've done, I think, Jamboard together, which we've done collaboration on. There's Padlet, which is a collaborative tool. This is another collaborative tool, but it's built into Nearpod. So what are some differences? You know, the question I put on here is, how are you going to communicate with families? But you could do this in your staff meetings, or in your classrooms, or in your presentations. If you were in a staff meeting, you could talk about, you know, what are you going to do in terms of logistics, or what would you want teachers to do for differences in school hours now, and whatever it is, and get that teacher feedback. Similarly for students, you know, if it's a class discussion, you can brainstorm each other, you can see their ideas, you can see a quick response without having them feel like there's a correct or incorrect response. So if it was a poll, there might be a, you know, correct, incorrect, whereas here it's just a quick feedback as well. And that'll help, you know, you to kind of get an action plan as you're teaching in the middle of your lesson of which direction to go. And as a staff, you know, an admin, it'll also give you the feedback that you need to kind of see where the staff feels on different things. Okay, So here's another example. Now, maybe you're in the middle of your staff meeting and you're talking about evacuation procedures, you know, especially with COVID and everyone having to stay socially distanced, and, you know, how is this really going to work? And even if it wasn't evacuation procedures, you know, maybe it's just right now safety is our #1 concern, and class assignments and the way the classroom needs to be set up. So maybe you're spacing out the classroom, maybe you're adding plexiglass and using new spaces. So this could be a way that you could share how the classrooms would look with the students. So I want to show you, I'm going to just put this, I'm going to turn off the audio. I do have audio, you might have it pop up on yours. So you could take a quick panoramic video or a panoramic image of your new classroom setup, or of the way that the construction is going in your new building, and post that panoramic. And so you could discuss, okay, teachers, on this main wall, we're going to be posting this, or okay, students, when we return to class, or this is where you're going to turn this in. So it could be, you can make your own VR images. For teachers, they have built-in field trips on Nearpod, and there's built-in simulations, so you're able to use that as well. And we're going to try to meet our mark, so I can show you that. I wanted to start the demo at about 9:30. So you can do Google Street View. So there's a lot of different ways as an admin and as a teacher that you can use Nearpod. Oh, and now we're early. So now I'm going to kind of teach you basics on how to set up a Nearpod. I'm going to move out of this view, and I'm going to just take you back to my Nearpod. So I won't have this Nearpod on the screen. We're not going to be interacting with it much anymore, so you can have it open if you would like, but you don't need this Nearpod screen open at this point. Before I move on to the demo, are there any questions, kind of a little bit about how to use some of these features before we move on to how to make it, or just any questions in general? I'll give you a few minutes. If there are, you can type them in the chat.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned that students can share each other's work.
Yes.
How do they do that?
So not necessarily share each other's work, but they can see work, and the teacher can share the work. So one example is we have this collaborative board. So any information that the students put, they're all able to share and see each other. And then if we're in the drawing mode, if there is a drawing that works really well, I could actually hit share right here. And that would pop that same information, whatever the students have put on the screen, to everyone. The youngest age, Sister Lama, my daughter is in kindergarten. She's been doing Nearpod with her teacher for about 2 weeks now in digital learning, and she does it completely independently. We don't do anything. She sees the Nearpod icon pop up on her Google Classroom. She clicks on it, walks through step by step on her own, because you can also incorporate audio directions onto the Nearpod. So she clicks on the audio icon. It took her, it took us about a couple of days to kind of train her where to click and how to do it. But I mean, these kids, they know how to navigate everything at this point. It just takes a little bit of training. So she's using it from kindergarten right now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this Nearpod. And this is kind of our Nearpod landing page. I honestly haven't ever used Seesaw. I know it can be integrated with Zoom, Teams, Google Classroom, like right away, but I don't know about Seesaw integration, but you can post the link. So I'm just going to go to my home page real quick. So for example, today's right here. So there's a student paced live participation, and then there's another one where you can have Zoom enabled at the same time. If you click on this link, you can share it with other teachers. You can export the whole thing as a PDF, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a shared with teacher. It could just be a link, and you could put this link onto your Seesaw or whatever platform you're working with, and the students are able to use this link as well. It can also be embedded into a website. It can be put onto the Remind app if you use that, and it can be emailed and through social. So that's really a great way to use it. Let's see, actually, before we build it, I'm gonna just show you some of the features, and then we'll work on building one. So start out with your library. I have some built into my classrooms. Then we have reports. As an admin, it would show you how often your teachers are using it and how often they're building it into their lesson plans, which will really give you that accountability, especially if you are paying a premium for the full access to everything. You'll get full reports of the student activities. So if I click on this, I'll see, there were 18 students in here. I'm going to show you a quick report. And every single answer, whatever you guys did, it tells me participation and accuracy of the students for every single one of the polls that I put on there. So that was, it'll show me the draw it. That's not fully loaded, but I can click on it and get more details as well. You can also pre-make sub-plans. So if you know you're going to be absent, you just have a Nearpod code on there. I haven't made a sub-plan on it yet, because alhamdulillah, I haven't been absent this year yet, but we only started just using this just like the rest of you guys, and that would be great. Now there's a school library where anything your teachers make, there's a district library, and then there's a Nearpod library. We're going to look at the Nearpod library in a moment. I want to show you the teacher resources real quick. The teacher resources include just live webinars, which anyone can register for. You just have to have a Nearpod account, and registering for an account is free. So, Nearpod for beginners, higher education, plan and edit a Nearpod lesson. So if today is too simplistic, not as detailed as you like, all these webinars are here. There's also getting started videos for admin, teachers. All of this is here. So I love that they provide that support. Okay, let's look at the Nearpod library. The Nearpod library has pre-made that 8,500 kind of Nearpods that we were talking about. So you can search it by lessons, by videos, by standards, state standards or Common Core, subject, grade level, and also by the type of resource. Is there something that somebody would like me to check and see if it's here? Any lesson ideas in mind that anyone would like?
Arabic, do they have any Arabic?
I don't know, but you can make an Arabic. Let's search and see what we have. Not letting me click on that. You have to search this way. Let's try it here. Arabic. There are no pre-built Arabic, but you can make an Arabic and contribute it to the Nearpod library as well. But they're very easy to make. So if you have your own PowerPoint, that's what I will show you, how to turn that into a Nearpod. Okay, so least common multiple. Okay, is that factoring? GCF with prime factorization. So this is a 4-minute Nearpod lesson. You can click on it and kind of teach it in front of your class, live participation, student pace where they do it in an asynchronous format. We can preview the lesson, which is what we'll do because I'm not going to have everyone do it, but it shows you it's fully interactive mode. So the lesson is here along with each one of these indicators is an interactive element. So this is just one example of a resource that's ready to go. And as a teacher, you can edit a lot of them and make your own changes. Let's see, 3rd grade science. Okay, education.com. Fossils disappear. Ooh, minerals. I love minerals. Okay, let's click on the mineral one. You can add it to your library so you don't have to constantly search if you find something you like. This one has something in here for draw it. And it gives you information about it, about this activity. The students would explain in this image right here. This is a matching pair activity. There's a poll in here. And they're quick and easy. I'll see if there's Islamic Studies. Generally, unfortunately, I don't think we have all of that representation in a lot of these platforms, and that's where you guys come in. Yes, they are curated. So Islamic Studies isn't on here. Most of these are in the actual Nearpod library, but you can also create your own and add it to your school library. So as a school teacher, if you're creating one, you add it to your library and share it with other teachers. And this is another way that we can actually bring in ISLA. So if any of you are creating Nearpod, share that Nearpod code. So share it with other teachers and everyone would get access to it. So I would share my Nearpods, Shaza would share hers, sister Handia would share hers. And we would have our own set of curated Nearpods that we can all use together. You know, we're going to.
That's a good idea, Sophia. So like if they're all on the IECN, could we just start an email thread?
Yes, we can.
Say, like, okay, you know, share your Nearpod. What would it be? Code or like library or?
It would be Nearpod link or code. So
Okay.
right here where it says share with teachers, and you would get a link that can be added in. So that teacher could use that link, and I would do the editable link so that a teacher can edit it and make adjustments as they need for their class. Not the preview only link, but the editable link. And I mean, not only on the IECN, but I know, you know, between us at ISLA, we're developing our page a lot more to where there will be a section for more and more resources. So eventually, you know, it can be on the website where everyone can have access to that. Okay, let me show you how you use this brilliant, amazing resource. Okay, so there's a couple different options. So there's lesson in Nearpod, where you create a brand new blank lesson in Google Slides, or you can start with one of their videos. I'm going to start out with just a quick lesson in slides, to your own Google Slides to begin with. And it's just a blank Google Slides. Now for this, it gives you directions: open, install the Nearpod add-on, and add the features. I already have the add-on installed. We did have a training on add-ons and extensions previously. If you need help with that, we can kind of demonstrate that right at the end. And so you pull that up and you can search for features. So I'm gonna just like make a brand new blank slide. Well, that was not a blank slide. And I will type, you know, whatever I want there. And you can incorporate these features. So I might want to incorporate the collaborative board like we did. There's vocabulary, fill in the blanks, Flipgrid, graphing calculator, matching pairs, memory text, a 3D simulator, open-ended questions, PDF viewer, polls, quizzes, simulations, slideshows. Sway I haven't tried, so I'm not going to speak to that as of yet. I apologize, but like I said, I'm not the certified trainer as of yet, just an educator, and I haven't tried that one yet. But we can play around with it later if you want. Time to Climb is a lot of fun. It lets the students climb up a mountain as they get questions correct, and we can try to build a slide in for that. There's videos and web content. So for now, for example, let me just click on fill in the blank. So it's fairly easy to work with. So type your paste or text here. So I'm going to just write a quick paragraph. Shaza is amazing. Her daughter is cute. Okay. And hit next. Sorry, this is the first thing that came in my head, Shaza. Click on the words on the right that you want to add to the word bank. So I'm going to click on the word cute, daughter, and Shaza. Hit done. And the fill in the blank is just so much easier than doing that control dash, 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 dash on your keyboard. And when the students see it, it would be a quick fill in the blank. And I'm going to show you what it looks like for them. Oh no, I accidentally shared my entire screen and I closed my Nearpod. All right. In the meanwhile, anyone have any questions while I reopen up my Nearpod?
Yeah, Sophia, I have a question.
Sure.
So do the students need to make an account?
It is integrated with Google Classroom. So if they have a G Suite, you can actually, this would post directly to Google Classroom. There is a way to do that. And they would just click on their Google Classroom. It would bring them straight here. They don't need an account.
And we don't need to make classrooms we don't need to make a classroom in Nearpod.
You don't need to. I did, like I made a reading fiction and 7th grade ELA, but I made it more as a folder so that any Nearpods like that I've created, they get saved and they're organized a little bit better instead of like the way my screen is right now. These are all the ISLA ones.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to show you the student paste version. So there is a code if anyone wants to try it. It's that one simple fill in the blank question that I shared earlier, but I wanted to show you what it looks like. I want to go, oh, well, there's no students in here. Okay, so that won't work. Oh, here we go, fill in the blank. Blank is amazing, her blank is blank. So students could drag and drop. Nope. right there, and it kind of shows you how quick and easy it is for the students when they're working with it, which is why it is very easy for your younger learners, and you can make it as advanced or hard as you want for the older ones. So that's if you're doing it in Google Slide. You could also do a lesson in Nearpod without having to use Google Slides. Some of us may not be using Drive the same way, and you could build slides on here. You can also upload files such as PowerPoints, PDFs, PNG images, and work off of that. So if I just hit insert blank slide, we could try doing a VR field trip. Okay, where do we want to go, guys? We're all sitting at home. Nobody can do vacay anyway right now. Where do we want to go? No one wants to go anywhere? Miami.
Egypt.
Okay, well, Sister Hamdia said Miami. We have New Zealand and Egypt. Let's see what we find. Going slow right now. So we have Miami Beach, Miami Performing Arts Center, Lincoln Road Mall, shopping in Miami. Maybe I should have been specific. Miami Beach. I'm going to just preview it. I'm not going to insert it in, and it is full VR mode. So you could be showing different things as a social studies teacher, even as a science teacher, even as an Islamic studies teacher. If I wanted to talk about maybe like an ancient site in, let's see, Saudi Arabia, and I wanted to talk about migration or something, forgive me, please, because I'm not a Quran or Islamic studies teacher, but there is VR on here from all around the world, and you could find images that you could preview and show your students while they're working, while you're talking, so that they have that imagery and context to put with any lesson. So the VR feature is a lot of fun. I didn't insert a VR right now, but let's see. I'm going to insert vocabulary. I'll just insert a blank slide. Oh, there's also activities. And this will show you a blank slide. So you can work on it as though it was a Google, slide. There's templates ready to go. You could add titles, add images. There's layout options. I like the format of this layout because it is very simplistic. It's not complicated to work with. It's a very easy user interface. So that's just one blank slide I put. Now I can add another slide, and this time choose any of these activities. There's a memory test, and this is the time to climb, the game I showed you. And this is going to lead up to one of our future trainings on gamification. Okay, but I need your all's help here because I don't want to come up with a lot more of, Shaz's daughter is cute. Yes, it is linked to Google Classroom. Give me a couple of questions, and then I'm going to have you guys, anyone who wants to try, work and create Nearpods kind of simultaneously for the last 10 minutes and share it with us if you can. Can anyone give me some questions to type here so it's not a lot of random nonsense?
Maybe something related to Nearpod. So like, what can Nearpod assist teachers with or something? Okay, what is Nearpod? Sure.
I don't. Nearpod. Okay, so I'm just putting that one question. Oh, okay, I forgot to save it. What am I missing here? Select the correct answer. Oh, okay, there we go. So add question, and I'm only putting this one question just so I can show you. I don't want to add another question. Okay, what time is it? Okay, so I have two questions saved on here. This is just a really fun tool, so I did want to make sure I get a chance to preview it and show it to you all. Oh, whoops. Because we've been doing Kahoot a lot, quizzes, things like that, but this is just something a little bit different that not all, that students might enjoy in terms of just having a change from things that they've already been working on. Okay, so we have right here, time to climb. So if they get the question correct, Come on. Maybe it's not letting me click on it because I'm in preview mode. Okay. Well, if they get the question correct, it's like they climb up a mountain slowly and you can see them rising and rising in success. So it really motivates them. They'll be like, oh, I went up. Yes, I went up. I'm going to try to get to the peak and the summit. And they get really excited about this one. Okay, we still have 15 minutes. We can either ask questions and I can be doing, playing around with it, but I really want to give you guys some time to play around with Nearpod and share what you guys are coming up with if you are able to do that in the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think that that's awesome. I think that that'll be really helpful and probably some more questions will come out of that. Could you quickly show us the Chrome extension page again so that people can do this?
Okay, so there's one or two ways to get to it. We have, you could just completely right on here, Chrome Web Store, and that will take you to this web store right here. So you can do add-ons and you're looking for extensions. So if I was doing Nearpod, there is a Nearpod extension and you can add that in as well. I actually don't have it on my on this computer right now, but this will really quickly allow teachers to access it, to create the assignments within Google Classroom. So that's one way to get it, and you would add it to your Chrome. If you were in your Google Slides, so this is me in Google Slides right now, add-ons, and I already have Nearpod, but if you didn't, you would click on add-ons, go to get on add-ons, and it would bring you to the G Suite Marketplace. And here you would find the add-on that you want to work with. And Pear Deck will be a future one, and then you just click on it and it will easily allow you to install. So because I already have that installed, I'll just show you if I was installing this one. You hit Pear Deck, accept the permissions. Before you're adding it on, make sure you check with your administrators if you're using a school account to make sure it's whitelisted and it's approved. We did run into issues at our school and we had to make sure that everything was opened up.
Where was that, Sophia? Under, oh, okay, there's a separate tab for add-ons, okay.
And then get add-ons.
And then somebody's asking, okay, so I was afraid that might be confusing. What is the difference between Pear Deck and Nearpod?
Pear Deck will be a future session, inshallah. They're very, very similar. It does have like the drawing features, but I feel like Nearpod has a lot more interactive features. It definitely has, I think, larger amount of library in terms of pre-made lessons ready to go. It has more functionality. I do like Pear Deck, but Nearpod is my go-to. And then I'm a little biased because I actually have a Nearpod district access account. So I'm at the highest level in terms of my membership. I won it through a grant. So I've only been doing Nearpod since.
Okay, so I was playing with Nearpod this in the morning, and I was able to download a PDF file which has all worksheet for kind of pre-K students. Okay. I added to the Nearpod, and it's in my library right now, but I wanted to make this PDF interactive instead of them printing and then they have to match or circle. So I didn't know how to go out after that. I mean, it's in Nearpod right now, but how do I share with my students? Because they're very young.
Sophia, could we have her actually share her screen and guide her through that?
Okay, and that is a really good question. So I'm going to show one quick guide for that, and then I'll go back to her. There's this PDF viewer right here. You can upload a PDF file.
Yes.
Another way to make it interactive, and it's so much easier than making text boxes on Google Slides, is if you were putting in as an image in the Draw It board. So let me show the Draw It board, and then you can share your screen and I can help you.
Yeah.
Media, so you have the PDF viewer right here. I don't know if I have any PDFs that I can upload. So instead of a PDF, let me just upload an image real quick. Dropbox, Google Classroom. Okay, I have an assessment. There you go. Sure, that's a PDF. That's perfect. Okay, so I will save this. And so you insert your PDF image, however your worksheet is. And when the students see it as a Draw It, they'll get the same screen that you did when you were working on it, where they're able to use their highlighter, pencil tools, draw all over this. So as a teacher, as a teacher, you're not going to have that functionality, but the students will, it'll just be like a drawing tablet. That picture is there and they can draw it, highlight it, type on it, however you want them to do. You can share your screen. I'm going to go ahead and stop my sharing if you want, if that wasn't helpful, and if you want me to walk you through a little bit slow.
Yeah, I will share mine. It's already opened it, so.
Sure. And is anyone else working on creating Nearpods in the meanwhile?
Actually, I cannot share, say disable participants. You have to allow me.
Shaza?
Okay, try it now, Sister Lama.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here is, let me see, this file, for example. So
Okay.
I just open it from here. How do I open it?
So right over it, you're going to hover and hit edit on
Edit.
the bottom left-hand corner.
Oh, okay, here. Hold on.
Yes, you can have them circle the answers completely. Okay, so click on the very first image. The very first slide, maybe any of them actually. Yeah, click on that one.
So that one.
And then hit convert to draw it. If you're going to write.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yes. And instead of keeping the original copy, you're going to say yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So now if you look at the very next slide, so it kept your original one there because we said, yes, we want to keep it for right now. But now this next one is draw it. So now the students, if they had a stylus, if they just wanted to use their mouse, they could draw along with their mouse and make those letters just like we used on the drawing tablet when you guys were creating the pictures of your lazy summer.
And then I can share one page at a time, right? Because now it's like a whole document, but because we're taking one letter at a time, so I can share one page at a time.
I've never done that, honestly. If you were doing one page at a time, I would copy each page individually into its own Nearpod.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've never tried that. It does look like you have a control copy feature, so you could try copying it and just make a separate Nearpod and paste it into another one.
Okay.
But I'm so proud of you for like uploading that. That's awesome.
I know. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Sister Lama, can you share that with me, please? Because I'm teaching TK through second grade Arabic in San Francisco. And
Okay.
yeah, I like this this booklet for Arabic letters.
Sure.
I'll write my email.
Can you put your email in the chat? Yeah.
Yes.
Inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Okay.
And Sister Lama, if you want, you can get you that editable link that we discussed and share that directly in the chat. And Sister Shaza can start it on our thread as well. So, interact with the IECN threads and we can all be contributing together, inshallah. I think that's one of the best benefits of having us all together, that we're able to make our own learning community this way.
Sure.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you. Let me stop sharing.
Is there anyone else who's made one who'd like to share? Okay, well, we still have 9 minutes and I am here.